Good afternoon and welcome to ACD Hot, right here on Active Citizens. My name is Sharon Chuku. Joining me in the studio as always, I have with me Ifoma Oji. Good afternoon, how are you doing?
Good afternoon, Sharon.
How are you doing?
I'm okay as always.
How far the celebration?
Okay.
Are you continuing your Independence Day celebration?
Yes, we thank God for my...
That yes was not from your heart. Well, anyways, we move.
Yes.
Now we have 3 light stories for this afternoon, and we are starting first with the Afrobeat star Davido, who is set to invest over $100 million, approximately over 149 billion naira, into his own private jet line known as the Chidi jet line, and it's located now. It's going to happen in the heart of South Africa, city Johannesburg, and this would make him, according to what we're seeing, the first artist to ever do this. What a phenomenal feat. I think the first time I heard about his plans was when it was Dangote that was talking, and he was talking about when that's Davido and his wife Chioma came to invite him for their wedding, and they were talking business and all of that before Davido revealed to him that he has a private jet line in South Africa and another business as well in another African country that he mentioned as well. But it is really beautiful to see. So a special shout out to you, Davido, for such, bold move. But what do you think about that, Ifoma?
Okay, first of all, I would say I'm happy that first of all, the intuition. It is beautiful to see that somebody, rock star like him, moving out from the norm, which is, we all know him as a celebrity, musical artist, you understand? Even though we know he has other businesses, but at the same time, owning a jet line,
yes, massive.
Is massive. But I wanted to point out to the fact that putting $100 million into probably owning a jet line, I don't know the scale, I don't know how big it's going to be, but it is extremely capital intensive to own a jet line. A lot of billionaires in Nigeria, the likes of what's it called, Jay-Z, Rihanna, and the rest of them, they know how much it costs. You understand? So to say you want to fuel in or put in 100 million naira into acquiring a jet line, it's actually quite, I don't know if I should call it PR stunt, but at the same time, I love the fact that he came up with the idea. But I know that to erect such thing, you need a lot of licenses. He will have to get license from South African Aviation Authority, the fueling of the jets, the crews, all these things is really expensive. It's about up to $100 billion or $150 billion. So but we're talking about million, he's talking about million here. So what I'm trying to say here is, trying to achieve this, he would definitely have to, number one, he need a lot of investors, he need a lot of partners, and he might equally go into maybe like loans, acquiring loans to achieve this. But all the same, it is beautiful.
All right, now you rightfully stated how capital intensive owning a private jet line is, and to be honest, it seems like such a daunting feat, and all the data you give out is actually facts. But I don't know, I just think if I was Davido, before coming out to make such an announcement, I must have done my homework. I must have tried to get investors and looked at how costly this would be for me in the long run. And it depends if this is I won't call it a PR stunt. It depends if this is a temporal or permanent investment he's looking at right now. We don't know his full plan. He has not come out to actually say anything to the matter. This is just what we are hearing right? Until he comes out to say, oh, this is what I want to do. How he runs his business should be his problem. We are just happy for him that he had the audacity, he had the mind to, you know, carry on such a huge endeavor, a huge business investment. It just says a lot about how industrious he is. And talking about him being industrious, it is really beautiful, because one of the things that stood him out in the music industry is the fact that although he, you know, he comes from a long line of money, he's somebody that has, you know, made a name for himself in the industry. And not just Davido, we have other artists like that, but he just stands out because of how long he's been in the game and what he's been able, and exactly, and how what he's been able to bring out of all of that. Becoming a global name is not an easy feat at all. But like you rightfully said, it's beautiful to see artists that we know for, you know, living the glamorous life, going into business. Another artist that I feel is towing that line is Mr. Easy, with the number of businesses he has across African countries and all of that. But I'm also going to touch on the fact that I like that Mr. Easy's investment is in Africa. You know, it just spread across Africa, you know, trying to bring this investment, this development in Nigeria, in other countries, even though, you know, it's quite sad that running a business in Nigeria is not as easy as it should be, both for locals and foreigners and investors and international bodies and all of that. But we love artists that do this type of things. But from what Davido is doing, is there any sort of advice that would want to give, you know, other artists?
Yes, before I even forge ahead, I think when we talked about Mr. Easy, we talked about the fact that, I mean, he owns, you know, various businesses in so many countries. I think we mentioned about 8 businesses you get in many countries, so not just Africa, but majorly, you know, Africa. And it's beautiful to see. But even before that, he has been this serious-minded entrepreneur. He always wants to make a name for himself. He didn't come out from, you know, a poor background. He was born into money to a very large extent, you get. So his music label is more like a side hustle, something that he loves doing, but not that he didn't have all these things. I just want to establish the fact that he had other investments even before music and even before he met Temi or Tedola. But if I am to advise other artists, young artists in Nigeria, I think they should equally be towing the line of Davido, making a name for himself. I mean, everybody will say, when you ask somebody about Davido, they will tell you, his father is filthy rich, but he is equally rich. He's standing firm on his own. He can literally own a lot of businesses on his own, without even having to involve his father or his uncle, the governor of Osun State. You understand? It is beautiful to see. I wish our young, you know, celebrities or music artists will equally toe that line. It would be so beautiful to see, and not just helping to expand the industry globally, even locally, to equally expand the music industry and the business economy too.
I like that we've said that and established that fact, but also finally to young people that are watching, to the young people that look up to these artists, because we know that these people have so much influence. Personally, I'm going to advise that you don't wake up and see the news that Davido is investing $100 million into getting his private jet line, and you are, oh, you're pressuring yourself. When am I going to get this done? When am I going to make it? How am I going to get there? Davido is doing this. He's the same age as I. That should not even be a conversation in your head, because at the end of the day, we have different paths, and you know, we did not all start off the same way. Some people had, you know, a head start in life. That does not mean that if you are not from that particular background, you cannot equally make out something from your life. I'm just saying this as a result of the sort of pressure that young people have exposed themselves to. You see something that is beautiful, amazing, congratulate that person, keep it pushing. Just make sure that you are getting inspired and you're not being led by jealousy is all I'm going to say concerning that. Now, on an equally funny note, this is something that has to do with entitlement, I would say, friendship, and not knowing the boundaries to cross, and just how audacious people can be, if I'm being honest. Now, CrazeClown came out to make a statement that has gone viral. Now, he is complaining of the fact that a friend of him asked him for money in order to put into his statement of account so that he could travel outside Nigeria. And after a month of Mr. CrazeClown now sending this money to his friend, he's asking for his money back. And he's saying, oh, I went to double the money. Well, guess what? I lost it. And it is not funny because we know this money is in millions. He didn't tell us exactly how much, but he said it's in millions. And if you want to travel abroad, you don't put 3 million or 2, you put millions in there. And to now be hearing such news, before I even go to how betrayed he would be feeling right now, let's all talk about the fact what caused all of this. He is trying to jackpot. That's the thing. The friend is trying to jackpot, and he just says a whole lot how far Nigerian youths are going these days to leave the country because of the unfavorable conditions that we've had to face. And another thing again that I'm seeing from this is just pure unfaithfulness. We are clamoring for change, asking our government to be accountable. But what do you do when you are given opportunities to be transparent and accountable? You mess it up like this, and it's just really sad to see, because even though that we want to see change, we want our governments to do better, we ourselves as Nigerian citizens, are we really doing better? That's the question you should ask yourself. But coming to you, Ifoma, what's your take generally?
Okay, for me, I think this is more like blind trust backfiring. Because before you should or you can invest money or even offer helping hand in terms of loan to a friend, you should have known the type of lifestyle your friend lives.
Some people might shock you.
That is number one. No, I think people if you see people of integrity and you've been with them for a long time, you will know. That's what I'm saying here. If that was established in the first place, this wouldn't have happened. And then number two, did you just lend the money because you wanted to help him, or you lent the money because you want to receive the money or get the money back? If you lent it because you don't want the money back, then there is no need for this back and forth. But if you lend the money for the guy to give you the money back, then I believe there should be some sort of contract
between friends.
Yes, I think we should try as much as possible